Okay, welcome everyone to meeting number 21, project management meeting of the archive work group on Wednesday, the 3rd of April, 2024. This meeting is going to be quite a short meeting because a lot of people are engaged elsewhere and Andre can't make it today. The Singularity Net archive contains a history of the activities of the Singularity Net Ambassador Program, and our goal is to provide a collaborative platform for the archive community to share knowledge, ideas, and best practices. I'll kind of leave it there and just hop on to the issue board or the project board and just quickly run through everything here. So just
Before we
quickly,
start, should we just explain for new people and put a link to the project board and say
yeah,
how we work?
yeah, here's a link. I'll just copy a link to the project board into chat. Sukrun's here as well, by the way. But okay, so we work from a GitHub project board, which is, well, it looks like this, and there's different ways to configure it. So this is the overview. We have also, there's a Kanban view. We can filter things by milestones, which is very useful for budgeting. And if you want, also there's a roadmap view where you can look at it like a Gantt chart, but we don't, depending on your taste, you can also use that view. But we tend to use the overview because it's like shows everything in a very compressed way. Um, so as I say, this meeting, we're going to keep this meeting brief and just go really through a quick status. I'll just quickly refer to the to-do. It doesn't look a bit like teamwork, doesn't it? Yeah. On the to-do, Vanessa, just quickly run through this, that we've added some to-dos here.
Yeah, I mean, these are just the monthly archive issues for the next quarter, for quarter two.
Yeah,
So I will bring April into in progress in a minute or later. And yeah, we can start. I don't think we've had any April summaries yet because no one's really met yet. But the way this works is we've got a link there to the actual archive Gitbook, which takes you to where the summaries for April are. And then we've also got a comment underneath which essay will be doing on at various points during the month. What are the outstanding meeting summaries? So she will look at the calendar and look at what meetings are supposed to have taken place and compare it with which summaries we've actually got. And then she'll give people a little nudge if they have forgotten. And that's
great.
how
Okay,
that
that's thanks.
works.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's going to be quite more of a streamlined process now, isn't it? Because we've just got a single link there and stuff. Okay, moving on to the in progress. Thanks for that, Vanessa. There's the issue for the meeting itself, which is there. That's just there to record the work that we're doing here. Then we have two issues for the governance Gitbook. Which one do we want to start with, or do you want to
I
just
mean, to be
talk in
honest,
general about this,
I've
Vanessa?
just split that because in our budget we decided we needed to put half of the work in quarter one and half in
Uh,
quarter two. So
right.
quarter one should have, obviously it should have been finished by now, but hasn't been, because I've been too busy. But yeah, if you want to scroll to the end, Steve.
All right. Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
I've just updated it that these are the things that I'm going to be working on in the next like week to just um start working on the governance Gitbook. And yeah, hopefully I should have that up and running in the next week or two. And
Okay.
yeah,
Thanks for that, Vanessa. I mean, just to recap for anyone new who's arrived, we're keeping this meeting quite short because Andre can't make it, and we're just doing a very quick status. So moving on to the development issues, which Andre would normally speak to, I'll just quickly run through what each of these are. There's a collab development, which is for me, and that's which I might start again actually, because to build on some work that Ubio's done, and that's using Google Colab. I can just demonstrate what that might look like. Google Colab is like a kind of work where you can do interactive, if it loads. Well, if it loads, you can do interactive interrogation of AI using various libraries. So Colab itself looks a bit like this, for the sake of the recording. So it's like an interactive way of building up code libraries that will interface with AI indexing, and then you're able to feed it data and ask it questions, hopefully. So that's why we're doing that. Yeah, I lost the board. Okay. So that one is currently on hold, but it's still placed there. And so let's quickly move on to Ubio's task. Ubio's been working on using Colab. He's been doing development of sentiment analysis, but also playing around with some data as well. Yeah, you put an update there recently as well, Vanessa. Okay. The what we are looking at is the issue of an API access to Andre's database. That at the back of the meeting summary pro forma, when you fill in a meeting summary, that goes into a database, and then code extracts the data from the database and updates the Gitbook. And what we want to do at some point is to be able to extract data using an API call, and then taking that into a Colab notebook, and then applying AI libraries and indexing to it. So the question in chat. Yeah, hi, Sikra. And so yeah, that's just a quick update. It's more a question now of really data wrangling. So I won't really dwell on that. And because Andre's not here, I don't really want to speak too much to this.
Yeah, but I think it's worth saying actually for like future work in quarter 2, we are wanting to look at how we can build on the work that Ubio's done, and
Yeah,
how generally members of this group can play with it and look at sentiment analysis in general and how we can play with Colab. And so there's going to be opportunities there for people to get involved if they're interested. And it
yeah,
looks like it could be quite interesting. So yeah.
yeah. Okay, to speak to that, I'll just give a quick. This is the repository that UBO is using to build models, different, or to build different models applying. Well, the original intention was to apply tags from our archival corpus. There's a bit of a misunderstanding at first, because I think there was a confusion that we were going to generate tags, but we actually want to use human created tags. And the work that's most recent work that UBO has done is a sentiment analysis. But the original work was this is an example of a Colab notebook that he used, was to basically interface with the data, so to use different libraries, and then to install basically input data from our archive. This particular one has used a CSV file, so I don't want to get too, because it's probably too involved. But what we're looking for is to have API access. Okay, so that's work in parallel. Is there anything else? I don't want to speak too much to this, because it's I don't sort of prejudge what's going to happen there. But yeah, so as I say, we're kind of doing data wrangling. We're looking at API, and we're going to try this. Hopefully, lead to more broader involvement.
Yeah, just for like new people, feel free to have a look. The links are all in that issue, and you can see that from the link to the board that we've shared. And yeah, if you have any questions after this meeting or anything you'd like to sort of, hit us up in the archives Discord channel, and yeah, we can have a chat.
Yeah, yeah. And apologies if a lot of this is goes over anyone's head to begin with. We do a mix of work here. Some of it is development work, and some of it is more accessible, maybe more text-based, more archive work. So there are different ways to get involved. The tool development issue here is a kind of standard issue that I provides every month, which tracks his own work. He's not here to speak to it, but again, uh, any reference to his work is linked to the GitHub activity that he does. So you can click on this here, and well, at the moment there's no commits, but in time, this builds up a record of the commits that Andre has done this month. And as there's no commits because we're right at the beginning of the month, basically. And that will probably be updated more with our next meeting. Okay, now on to community engagement issues. The tags here I'm referring to on the right-hand side here. So these were development issues, and the one in purple is a community engagement issue. Over to you on this one, Vanessa, archives outreach.
Yeah, this is just the ongoing issue that we have for trying to raise the issue of archiving and the practices that we're working on. Hello? Sorry, did someone say something then? I didn't hear.
I think someone was just unmuted by
Oh,
accident.
okay, no
Yeah,
worries.
yeah, yeah.
All right, yeah, so this is just an ongoing issue where we're trying to work with other areas of the ecosystem. We've had an ongoing conversation with the Supervisory Council about documenting and archiving the decentralization blueprint. And yeah, it's still pending because there's an awful lot of things that depend on things within it. And we're just going to have to wait until so there's nothing really to add except, I mean, maybe it's worth adding a comment, Stephen, that they discussed it in their meeting on, well, it wasn't Friday, was it? Because that would be Good Friday. So it must have been the week before. Maybe we just put Supervisory Council are discussing, are imminently discussing it in one of their meetings. And it'll just be, we're suggesting a range of different things around knowledge management and archiving. And this kind of links to the issue we had earlier about the governance Gitbook, because we're thinking that that is where some of these experiments in governance will sit and where they will be documented. So yeah, it's kind of pending really. We're just waiting to get some information from them on what they hope to do. We've given them kind of like a modular set of things that we could do. And I think that it's at the stage now where they're just picking, yeah, we do want you to do that and we don't want you to do that. So we'll, yeah, hopefully hear back from them soon. But on this issue, this is not just about the Supervisory Council, it's about archives outreach to any part of the ecosystem. So if anyone has any links in any other part of the ecosystem and they think, oh yeah, I can see an application where they might want to archive or record their meetings, or they might want to do some of the things that Archives Work Group does in the Ambassador Programme, then bring it up. And, we'd love to be in touch with other spin-offs or other bits of the ecosystem to talk about knowledge management with them. So yeah, let us know. I suppose
Yeah, but
also the other thing that kind of could be mentioned here is that we have been discussing the idea of documenting what happened in Panama. Um, People, the ambassadors who went to the BGI conference in Panama are writing up some of their experiences. And part of it is to try and capture some of the meetings that went on, but part of it is also what was the experience like from the point of view of ambassadors? Was it a good idea to send ambassadors to Panama? It probably, it was, I'm sure, but it's almost like documenting what happened is a way of showing why it was good. So that next time round we can point to something and go, look, this is why it's good to send people to events like this. So this is all a little bit pending, and we're sort of talking to Guillermo and a couple of other people who were there about archiving their stuff.
That's
So
great.
yeah,
Okay.
is it
Okay.
worth putting that as a note,
Maybe you want
Steve?
to add a note that under or edit my notes.
All right, I'll
Yeah,
do it. I'll do it after
yeah,
the
yeah,
meeting because I've got too many
yeah,
windows
yeah.
open and things. All right, yeah. So
But
that's just filling people in, really. All right.
okay. By the way, if I get interrupted, I'm expecting a delivery here, so I might have to quickly mute myself and go and answer the door. So I'll carry on for the moment. Um, the or where are we? There was a issue for Duke for the GitHub board video workflow. Is that just a work issue, Vic?
Yeah, I think it's still pending. I haven't heard from him about it, but
Right.
yeah, I will give him a little
Okay.
chase and see if he's still up for it.
Okay.
This was basically, we did a training session on how this board works, and we ended up with a really long video. And so we thought it would be good to have a short, like 10-minute walkthrough of how the board works so that new people can
Right.
can do it. So yeah, we've got a draft
That's
of
great.
what he's going to cover.
Okay. Um, so that might need to be updated to April at some point. Um, yes, this backlog is still pending. This is with me, and I basically need to start work on. Unlike you, Vanessa, I've kind of got it's in my to-do list, so I still haven't done work on this. But I'm going to be basically using the meeting summary tool to create an archive record of historical town halls. Um, Bounty for missing summaries, that's again an admin routine issue. Yeah, Vanessa?
S is not here, so I don't think we can really talk about it. But I just
Yeah.
kind of wondered if we could just have a little look at closing this. Can you scroll down to the bottom of an issue? Because that's where the most recent comment is going to be. Okay, so yeah, I think it is mostly complete. And I guess if S is not here, then there are no updates. So I think we could close it.
Okay. I could put it certainly
Well, not
to,
close it, but move it to done.
yeah, I'll move it to done. And
Oh, and can you also tag it with oh, it is already tagged with unpaid. Okay, just so that
okay.
Andre knows when he's back to
Yeah.
work. Cool.
Okay, thanks. Then we had an ask for suggesting tasks for QT. Is Duke here? This was to look to think about what new tasks the archive work group could do for quarter 2.
I mean, I think we could add something about building on Ubio's collab work and particularly sentiment analysis. Um, be good to budget something for that so that people can do things like try out the processes that he's using. But yeah, this is kind of open to the floor, really. Has anybody got any thoughts on new work that you think it would be good for archives to look at in the next quarter?
I mean, we can keep it open as an ongoing issue as well. Um, I'll put that comment in there as
I mean, we kind of can, but it's got to be worked into the quarter 2 budget. So I'm kind of thinking if nobody has got any particular, I mean, I'm wondering, Onyeka, if you've got anything in your mind because you've been coming to meetings and you kind of know where we're at with stuff.
Yeah, but I, actually, I don't really have anything. Will I say I've not really taken time to think of anything. So I
If
guess
you think of,
that's my bad.
if you
Fair
think of
enough.
But I
anything,
could,
just if you think of anything, just
yeah,
let us know and we can incorporate it into Q2.
yeah, yeah, I will try and do that.
Cool.
I mean, I think we
Okay.
have got a fairly good, like, comprehensive idea for the budget. So I think, yeah, we should probably share that next meeting because, yeah, it's always a little bit slower than it should be, isn't it?
Yeah, there's still discussions, as people may know, about budgets. That's ongoing. Quarterly report. This is a work. We've submitted this, haven't we?
No, we haven't because we were waiting for comments. So,
Ah,
yeah,
ah,
I don't think there's been any. Um, and I've
indeed.
tidied up a few of the things that we mentioned in the last quarter. Sorry, the last meeting. What am I talking about? And
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's ready to submit. But I
right.
just wanted to raise the idea that in the meeting, the governance meeting yesterday, we were talking about the idea that maybe a quarterly report shouldn't be like a narrative doc like this. Maybe it should be
Mm,
more, we take our budget sheet and we write next to each item, yeah, we did this, or no, we didn't do this, and that should be it. But that does miss out. I mean, if you want to scroll down a little bit, Stephen, we can see, like, we've talked about why some of these things worked or didn't work. Um, sorry, can you scroll down a little bit? Yeah, so we've talked about community engagement and how having new starter tasks for new people has worked quite well. We've talked about archives management and how the bounty that Essie has done to chase up meeting summary. You wouldn't get that in that format if we had it just in a spreadsheet. So shall we submit this as is? And then maybe for quarter
yeah,
two report, we can try and link it more to the budget.
we can capture what you just said in the notes.
Hmm.
Where are here? So, yeah, um, so that they say we need to consider the future format in of the Q quarterly report.
I mean, I will create
In
a
it,
I'll create an issue for quarterly report quarter two, and that can
yeah,
sit in pending for now.
in the light of ongoing governance discussions. I mean, so
Mm.
yeah, so I'll just keep it so that sort of reminds us um, what we've been talking about. I suppose I speak maybe for someone wants to edit that, but I think it's great as it is, and I suppose we could consider whether it should be narrated going forward. But I think I for one think it's okay to submit as it is. Yeah.
All right, if you can put that in in the comments as well to remind me to submit it, otherwise I'll forget. I think it's just a
Uh,
matter of DMing it to Peter, honestly. But oh, we can also add it to the Ambassador's Gitbook as the most recent quarterly report. That might actually be one for you, Sucre, if you're staying on to do the Ambassador's Gitbook updates in quarter two.
there you go.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I'm available for that.
All right, put
Nice one.
your might be Sukra. Your name there. The okay. Right. Sorry, this is a quite a quick meeting. So, correction or a maintenance of monthly archive record was again an admin type issue.
I mean, I'm just plowing through it
Vanessa.
basically.
Yeah.
It's an
Okay.
archives issue, it's not an admin issue. We don't have admin issues.
Okay. I mean a
Archivists are not
routine issue.
secretaries.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Then the budget for quarter one, is that still in discussion?
I don't think it is because we had that governance meeting yesterday where the quarter one budgets were signed off. So it feels to me like this could be closed and we
Yeah.
maybe need an archives work group budget quarter two issue.
So that was the second. Um,
You say governance work group meeting, otherwise it reads like it's an archives meeting.
okay. Um, I'll leave it open for that a moment so I know to do that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'll just yeah. Okay. So that will go to done, and I'll create a new issue. Taxonomy proof of concept.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much at the stage where I've got the training session ready, and we said we'd try and do it as soon as, and we had a rough date towards the end of March, and it's just fell off the end of the agenda with so much else going on. So if we aim to do it, poor, let me think. Mondays look like quite a good day for people. I'm sort of thinking maybe the 22nd. I mean, it's pushing it a little later into quarter 2 than I would have liked, but I'm just trying to be realistic here.
Yeah. I mean, should we do a status update when we have the firm that
Well,
alphabet?
put me in action down to contact director, DM everybody who said they were interested, and just make sure they're all in it still.
Um,
And try and set a date with people.
Mm.
okay. Oh, I dare date. Can't type for
It's a
some
bit
reason.
horrible when people are watching you type.
Yeah, I know. Okay, then we have monthly issues. Are these still open because of budgeting or?
No, they're still open because there's still some things. I was hoping Essay might make this meeting, but if say like if you open January for an example
Yeah,
and scroll down. So you
right.
can
There's
see that
still
there's still some unticked. Like for example, oh, the January 26th Writers Work Group, that should be ticked. I think it's just because I was ticking it and I haven't closed it. Let me just go in. Yeah. Yeah, so if you could tick that, yeah, that's nice.
yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
Okay. I know we're waiting for some for R&D Guild, so maybe I'll just Bob Guillermo a message or something. Can you scroll up a little bit and see what? Oh, I've got to do town halls, haven't I? I've got to do that deep funding town hall, and I've got to do. Yeah, there's a couple. I think there's one ambassador's town hall that I haven't done.
Okay, yeah, Nika, you just raised your hand. The
Yeah, for the R&D, during the events in Panama, we actually didn't have meetings. Although I know that we are actually late, or let's say slow, in the
Yeah.
workbook of the meeting summaries. I think DMO still has 3 meetings to submit, meeting summaries to submit. So, but
okay,
right now I'm doing currently documenting for them. So I think I'll play the last one for last meeting. So I think for now the process will be faster
Yeah, I saw the
than
last meeting sitting in the tool, and I haven't approved it yet, but I will do. But what? So there's not been any meetings through January. I thought we were
no.
waiting for a couple.
Yeah. I think he has some to upload. I think he has 3 meetings summaries, which he hasn't uploaded yet.
All
But I just
right.
wanted to indicate that during the events in Panama, we didn't actually have
Okay.
meetings.
Okay. Yeah, I think he mentioned that there was a couple that he has to add to the tool yet, but they're not there yet. So I might just DM him and just find out. But I think honestly, Essay and I need to work out a slightly smoother process, so she's not chasing people that have already submitted things and whatever. So maybe we just need to have a chat about that. But yeah, it's good to just look at it in the meeting so that I'm aware that I need to do a couple of town halls, and we need to just find out whether that governance work group happened. And yeah, there's a couple of things there that, I mean, Ambassadors Assembly, that isn't even a thing anymore. It must have just been on the calendar by accident. So, all right, so I'll go and tidy those up a little bit. Can we look quickly at February and just see if anybody has any knowledge of any of these? It looks pretty complete, actually.
Yeah, governance work group on the 6th.
Yeah.
Ambassadors onboarding on the 8th.
Oh yeah, I mean that doesn't really get archived because they're
Right.
just, I mean, I suppose we could. Yeah.
It's very complete. I mean, as Anika
Yeah, it's
was
looking
saying,
good.
Mika, you're talking about the R&D guild there, so
Can you note that one, Stephen? Because that was during Panama, wasn't it? The 12th. So that'll be one of the ones that the meeting didn't happen. No, can you actually do it in that comment?
okay.
Nice.
I can find it.
Meeting didn't happen because Panama, and then just tick it off so we know that it's accounted for. Nice one. And
no.
the tool actually, the meeting summary tool actually has a way to submit meeting didn't happen. So we'll do that. But February's looking great. Yeah, thank goodness.
No, that's good.
And I've got a few to still approve from March, but can we have a quick look at it? Okay, yeah, I've got town halls to do. Go
Is
on,
that one?
go on,
Is that
Yuka.
the one?
No,
All right,
that's
let
just
me.
sitting in the
Well,
tool. That's waiting for me to
okay.
approve, so that's all right. Don't tick it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just ask a question. You said
Yeah.
the tool actually has a place for meeting didn't actually happen. I've not seen it.
I think it's what we need to do. When Andre's better, we need to get him to give you access to it
Oh,
because it's kind of admin only, so that people don't
okay.
accidentally tick it when the meeting did happen. So yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll sort that out.
All right. All right.
And I know that there's a few that I still have to approve. And yeah, and there's an onboarding work group one that I know I have to do.
Right.
There is a question though, actually. I don't suppose Kenichi's here, is he? No. No, he sometimes comes to these sessions. A few archives meetings ago, Kenichi came and gave us a backlog of writers' work group summaries, and I've added them all. But then since then, I don't think we've had any summaries, and I'm just wondering, does anybody go to writers' group, and do you know whether meetings are being summarized? Or because it's like, if it's not a priority for them and it's not something that they really want to do, then I think we should maybe just get a statement that says, writers' work group meets and doesn't summarize or something, just so that we're not waiting for summaries that are not going to be done. But if they are doing them, then I'm not seeing them in the archives summary tool.
Okay. Should we add a note here, or do you want to wait until?
I don't know, I'm just asking if anybody goes to writers group and knows what's happening with it.
Yeah, yeah. I know they do meetings and they write summaries. They usually post them in their work group channel. So I think the last one here is for the 29th, from what I can see in that channel. So
I wonder,
I don't know if anyone moves it.
I wonder if they're putting them in the spreadsheet that Kenichi shared with me. I haven't looked at it since I uploaded the backlog, but that might be where they are. Cool.
Right.
I will check.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
totally what it
Yeah, but
probably
they
is.
always have summaries. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Okay. And then the final thing is a bounty for the BGI. Is this still a thing, or?
Well, this is it. I mean, I was saying to you the other day on Yuka that I'm still waiting to really find out if they're planning to do these. If if SNet as a whole is planning to do them. But I think we could just do them, you know. Um, the idea is that it was going to be you, Duke, and Essie, right? And we've got 1, 2, and then we've got
Yes.
one that's like there's 2 short ones, which kind of counts as one, and then there's the 4th one that you found. So how do you want to divide them up between yourselves? Should we just leave
Well, I
it with
don't.
yous?
You said what?
Should we just leave it with the 3 of you to work out who's doing which one and just go ahead? Because you've
All
got
right, we'll
access
do
to
that.
the what you call it, the YouTube account, haven't you?
Okay,
So I
yeah,
guess people
yeah.
would write the summary and then you will upload the summary, I guess.
Write the summary. Like I don't get that part.
Well, people are going to have to, you're not doing them all. So
No,
so
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Is this just timestamping, or is it also summarizing?
well, it's the same thing in the end, isn't it?
Okay,
Timestamps are a summary.
okay, for the timestamps,
Mhm.
I will do it in the video of it. If someone
Sorry, I
produces a
can't hear
long,
you. I can't hear you.
I said for the timestamps, how we do it in the video work group is that if someone produces a long video, they are meant to provide the video description and the timestamps
Yeah,
for the
but they're
video.
not doing, are they? That's the thing, they haven't done. So that's why we're
Yeah,
trying to step in.
yeah. And I
Okay,
guess
so
this one is from Singularity Net's page directly, not the ambassador program.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sort of feeling that there's too much confusion around this, and it just feels like we might end up duplicating work that somebody else is going to do.
well, we could just close it then and just
Yeah,
say,
it kind of feels like that would be easier. What do you think, Onyeka?
Personally, I feel if there are some people that we could actually ask, because I think you told me then that you spoke with Judith,
Hmm.
and she said they, she didn't give you actually a straight answer from what she said. She said they might actually do it. So it is on probability. And so far, they haven't done it.
I know.
I think it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks now.
mm.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
they
see,
haven't even been on it in the video work group or something like that. So I think
I mean,
we can still do it.
I mean, I'm just a little bit lost about who else. I mean, Judith's answer was a little inconclusive because she doesn't know, and she's just thinking that probably.
I think there will be an issue actually because this is not, even though we do it, then how are we going to actually add it to the video? Because I have access to the ambassador program and channels, but not Singularity Net channels.
Do you know who does have access to the Singularity Net one?
Peter might know
Sorry,
that.
you said?
Do you know who does have access to the
I don't know. I
Singularity
think
Net one?
Peter could,
Right.
or
Well,
Roger.
that's the answer then. I think, Onyeka, if you were able to like maybe have a quick chat with Peter and just ask him if he knows if anyone's planning to do it. And if they
All
are,
right.
then fair enough. But if they're not, then just ask him, would he be able to upload timestamps if you and Duke and Essay did them?
All
And
right. I'll
then,
do that.
and if he says yes, then yeah, go for it.
All right.
I just don't want us to get into a situation where people think that we are going to timestamp everything that because you know we haven't got capacity for that, I don't think, and we haven't got budget for it either. So this is like a one-off because we thought BGI was quite an important event, but yeah, we can't do it as a general rule, can we? It would be good to have content timestamped, to have these meetings in the archive if we can.
Okay, so clarify access to Anika to clarify access to SNet, YouTube with Peter. Yeah, is that the
Well, it's not just that, it's just asking also if Peter knows if anybody else is planning to timestamp these things. And if it's already in a pipeline somewhere, we don't want to jump in
right?
over
Okay.
someone else's head. But if no one's doing it, then yeah, we should.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's that one, and that's it. Is there, so the final thing is there any other outstanding issue things that we need to
I mean,
discuss?
just to say that bounty tasks that are finished, like for example, the Ambassador's Gitbook update that Sucre did and various other things, you know, the little things that people did at town hall where they'd researched what happened in a work group over the quarter. Those have all been closed now, and I think Andre will have had time to pay them. Yes, he has, look. So
Yeah, good.
oh
That's
yeah,
great.
go
So,
yeah, go on, you
Yeah,
could
I
did
think
you
that yeah, I did receive that. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I
nice.
think you have done that. I was about asking, although because we said we were going to continue some tasks like the publicity, the
Yeah.
git, the so I didn't see the tasks among the tasks in progress or to do.
Yeah,
So
because I haven't
in
added
case I
them
missed it.
yet. Yeah, you're right. I think the technical support that you were doing for the meeting summary tool, we probably don't need anymore because hopefully people are going smoothly. But yeah, I think we agreed in the last meeting that the general publicity task would be continued. And what I think we need to do is create an issue for the quarter 2 budget and put that a link to that in there and get it submitted. I mean,
All right.
Sucre's Ambassador Gitbook update, we agreed that that would continue. Essay doing chasing meeting summaries, that will continue. Yeah.
What about Slow?
yeah. Okay, so Luke is asking in chat, is there a process to follow onboarding or a governance doc for archival work group for new people looking to contribute? I would just say that we're currently doing on quite an ad hoc basis, as you could just sort of said there that we will typically discuss work that needs to be done, and then people will volunteer for that or be assigned that. Do you want to add anything to that, Vanessa?
No, I was just going to say it tends to be based on doing work. So I guess the question I would have for you is what kind of work are you interested in doing, Olakoji? Because what tends to happen is things come up in a meeting and somebody will go, yeah, I'll do that.
I really don't know. I'm just looking to contribute. I don't have I have a very vague idea of the structure of the archival group. I only
Yeah, I mean it
you
could be
documents
just
and you organize basically. So yeah.
it could be a lot more simpler than that, because if you see a particular, so I suppose the thing is to pay attention to particular tasks that are being discussed, like for example checking content, or uh you know participating in the tag taxonomy is one there as well in the future. And as they come up, to what, as Vanessa says, to volunteer for that. there's no that is how we basically ask for assistance as work arises.
Okay. All right.
One thing I would say, Olakoji, is that we have, in the past quarter, we had a little task, a little bounty task that we asked people to do that involved them looking at the archive in order to produce a little meeting, a little summary of what work groups have done. And we said it'd be great in quarter two if we could think of other bounty tasks that people could do that would involve them having to go and research in the archives. We're just trying to get people using the archives more. So if you ever think about that, and if you come up with something that people could do that would involve them having to go and look in the archive, you could add that to that. We've got a task in progress on ideas, suggesting tasks for quarter two, that one. You could add any ideas you've got in there. We're not expecting you to come up with something off the top of your head right now, but if you've got an idea, when you mull it over a little bit, you could put it in there and we could discuss it
Yeah.
in the next meeting.
All right.
How are we going to get people going to the archives and using them? What tasks could we give?
I pasted a link to that issue and also to the archive Gitbook, so which if you want to look through that. But it is very much you know, like, documentation tasks. It can be research. It can be we've even done some video production. Sometimes there's development work that comes up as well. So really, it's just looking out for that as an issue is discussed. I mean, today is not a very good example because we are, you know, kind of in between the quarters, and Andre's not here, and you know, so. And we don't have any particularly new tasks that are coming up, but usually we do, and then we will ask people for participation.
Yeah, it tends to be like a two-stage process. People come along and they jump into a task that somebody else suggests, and then they start suggesting tasks themselves. But you don't have to do it in that order. I'm just noticing that Photo G, you're here. I know that judging by your name, you're a photographer. I have a background in photography as well. I sometimes think that whilst archivally, the fact that our archives are entirely text-based is a good thing, especially for using LLMs with them. I also wonder about photographic content in the archives. Say, for example, people went to Panama and they took photos. Should we be archiving those? Should we be looking at how to archive those? And if that's something that you're interested in, maybe we should have a think about it and have a chat about it sometime.
Yeah, I'm open to that. I'm open to that.
I'll put a little note there as well to
Yeah, nice one. Yeah.
possibly consider. Sorry.
Oh, here's Clement. Okay.
Possibly consider archiving.
Because, you know, there's not going to be a lot of photographic content, admittedly, but maybe there'll be some. And I think we should, you know, we need to think about how we associate photographic content with the relevant meeting material, how we tag it, how we use LLMs to find it, this kind of stuff. So it's a whole another thing. And I just think, yeah, it'd be good to have people with a photographic background looking at it.
Okay, so to recap, if people could, I mean, I posted this in chat, so if people could particularly look at this issue to suggest tasks as well, that's the other way we can, you know, maybe get people involved as well. You know, so you know, we can add suggestions here, and then we can consider them at our next meeting to see how we could create issues for these tasks. Yeah, and as Vanessa says in chat, we're just actually coming to the end now. That was the last any other business discussion. So really say that's the end. So I stopped sharing, and thank you everyone for coming.
Just
This-
one thing I was thinking, if Sukra, if you're continuing the Ambassador Gitbook updates, we should probably set dates when the 2 updates in Q2 should be done. So shall I DM you on that and we'll create a new issue for it on the board?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Nice one.
And I suppose the final thing is Clement's asking if there's any tasks that he specifically can handle. I think we discussed that there wasn't any new tasks today. Is that right?
I think pretty much, yeah, but Clement, if you've got ideas, in the last meeting we said we'd try and collate some ideas from people about things that we think we should put in funding requests for in Q2. So I'll just relink that issue.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, if you have got anything,
Okay.
post in there and we'll look at finalizing our project budget, I guess, in the next meeting, which is awful late, but
Yeah. And with that,
That's
I
what it
suppose stop recording if you like.
yeah.
Okay, so, Bunny,
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, a minute, please. Yeah, sorry. Hi guys, sorry, I'm joining really late. Had a couple of network issues though. So I want to ask. So the suggestions are to be made in the link you said in the chat box, I guess.
Sorry, I didn't hear. Can you say again?
Yeah, just check out
So
the link in the chat,
Yes.
Clement, and what that link is to an issue which basically is discussing new tasks for the new quarter. Yeah. So that's where we're at. We haven't decided any new tasks, but we're in the process of discussing them. And if you've got any input into that, have a look at that task. If you can, add any comments to it or message us. Okay.
I mean,
okay, thank you.
just off the top of your head, have you got anything in mind that you think we should be doing and that we could be offering as as an archive-based task?
I can't think of anything now, but I sure will make inputs. Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah, it's putting you on the spot a little bit. I think specifically it'd be really nice to try and think of some tasks that will engage people with the archives and make them have a reason to go and research or look at things. And I think we're also thinking about, as we said before, before you arrived, Clement, we were looking at the work that Ubio has been doing around sentiment analysis using AI, and we think that there might be tasks that other people can do to take that further. So we'll put that in the budget. Photo G, you've got your hand up, go for it.
Right, we got your concerning photography.
Sorry, can't hear. You're really quiet.
Am I better now? Is it better?
No,
How about now?
you're really faint.
Oh God. Sorry. Okay. Are you hearing me now?
That's better. Yeah, go on.
Okay. So I said I wasn't like quite clear about the photographic content you like made a suggestion about. So I don't know if you can help me, maybe like a DM or something like that. That'll make it more clear to me on how we're going to be going about it also. I don't know if that's clear.
I mean, in the end, I was just asking you if you had any ideas on archiving photographic content. So if you don't, that's fine, no worries. But we will look at it and we will sort of think about it and see if there is a task there that we can look at. I mean, one of the things I'm thinking is maybe collating what photographic content there is. I know there's stuff from when people went to Panama. Is there anything else? Or is that really it? If that's it, then it's not a very big deal. But if there are other in-person meetings that have happened or any other photographic content that's relevant, then maybe we should think a bit more about it. Clement, go for it.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask the last town hall before last week or 2 weeks ago, if I'm correct, we had some, bounty tax. Some people had to go look up the archives. I
Yeah.
was wondering if we have to reintroduce it into this quarter because I mean it was nice having persons, access the archive tool. Persons who ordinarily do not, belong to certain work groups, going to check another work group's activity. So I don't know if it's part of what we will be doing in this quarter.
I mean, I don't know, we could just repeat that task, but it feels like we'd need to tweak it a little bit because having it right at the end of the town hall and people were itching to go and maybe weren't listening as much as they could be. I don't know. I think we'd need to, if we were going to repeat it, we'd need to kind of tighten it up a little bit. Maybe we don't present them in the same town hall as when everybody else is, doing their real monthly reports. Maybe we ask the people who are doing the archives research to look for something specific, like I don't know, what do you think the work group's achievements were in this quarter? Or, something. I just don't want it to be judgy. I don't want people to be judging another work group. But yeah, we'd have to have a think about it. So maybe if you've got any ideas about, because you actually did one and you'd have a sense of, I don't think people were listening as much as they should be. So we have to make sure that it's not right at the end of a town hall.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. Maybe we could start by adjusting the time of presentation to maybe making it a little bit earlier, since it's quite brief, you
Yep,
know.
yep,
And
yep.
I think maybe focusing on interesting things like the achievements, it's something catchy. Persons would want to see what other work groups have really been able to, put out, or in terms of significant strides, maybe in the first, second quarter, whichever quarter it is. And I think we should maybe just stick around the achievement part of it. It doesn't necessarily mean, I know interpretations might be different. Persons might see it as judging other work group, but I don't see it that way. I see it as maybe since you're trying to tailor someone to the particular task, you're trying to bring out something that was maybe really interesting about that particular work group.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay,
I
we're at
think
the
I
top.
think that would be
We're at the
really
top.
cool.
Yeah. Okay, we're top of the hour now. So can
All
we
right.
stop recording? And yeah,
Well, Gorga is just coming in, so if we could just keep the
well,
meeting open for a second just to say thanks for coming and we're closing. Hi, Gorga. We just let you in because we wanted to say hi and thank you for coming, but we're having a really short meeting and we're about to wrap up. So I hope you'll make
yeah,
it for the next one.
yeah. Thanks everyone for coming and for keeping to a brief meeting this time. Usually our meetings are twice as long and we have much more in-depth discussion. But yeah, so if you stop recording, Vic.
I will.